Ms. Lee, you have the next question. Both of our Democratic opponents are calling for a minimum wage between $20 and $25 an hour. You're calling for a $50 an hour federal minimum wage. That's 7 times the current national minimum wage of $7.25 an hour. Can you explain how that would be economically sustainable for small businesses? You have 60 seconds.
A $50 minimum wage for your average worker, your average citizen. Will African Americans benefit from this, or is this for specific groups of specific nationalities and backgrounds? Will black people finally benefit from something that they're proposing? They're saying the only reason why Kamala Harris is proposing this policy is because Donald Trump proposed the same policy. But if you're going to have minimum wage at $50 an hour, what about the nurses out there and the police officers that put their lives on the line every day and don't know if they're coming back home? If your average worker, fast food worker, and so on is making $50 an hour, people working high-paying jobs are going to quit their jobs to go get minimum wage jobs so they could be making more money. The only way this is going to work is if they increase the payout for people with higher credentials. People with degrees and things should be making $3,000 an hour if your average worker is making $50 an hour. And not saying that your average worker is not doing anything significant enough to be earning $50,000, but will black people get that $50,000? Do you have to be from overseas or another country to reap those rewards and get those benefits? Because people of color never get paid what they're supposed to get paid. A lot of times they do, a lot of times they don't. And I'm not trying to play the race card, but we are talking about Kamala Harris. Do she have my best interests at heart? Do she have your best interests at heart? What is she really going to do when she get in office and it's time to raise that minimum wage? Is she going to go ahead and push the button and say everybody get $50 an hour? And if they do, the taxes is going to be hell. They're going to tax the life out of that check. You gross $3,000, you bringing home $750. And at the end of the year, since you made so much money, you're going to have to pay back more taxes. So keeping the wages low is actually doing people a favor when it comes to taxes. But what do I know? Y'all need to listen at this because Kamala has a plan in mind, and y'all got to let me know if y'all willing to go forward with what she got planned.
Including to raise the minimum wage and eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
Now, mind you, this wasn't her original idea. They stole all this from the Trump campaign. She's trying to win people however she can win people. But seeing how she don't have an initial plan, how she don't have an original plan, how she don't have a real plan to get people out of the slums, out of the gutter. They're saying she's Jamaican, and she's a part of the reason why the oxtails are so high. They're saying she's the reason why the cost of living is so high, gas, you name it. They're putting all that on Kamala. She's the reason why inflation is happening at such an alarming rate in America. And now she's proposing an offer to raise the minimum wage, but do that mean they're going to raise the rent? They raised the minimum wage, $50 an hour. Therefore, people can afford to pay the rent that's available to us right now. But what about when the wages go up? The rent is going to go up. So you're going to have to leave your job in corporate America to go down to a fast food restaurant, apply so you can stay afloat. People at Chick-fil-A, they deserve the money. They do an excellent job. I feel like people at Chick-fil-A, they should be getting $60, $70 an hour with that type of service. And they wear a smile, good attitude and everything. Look, pay the people at Chick-fil-A. But now the people at Chipotle's, Subways, and all these other places, they deserve the money as well. But $50 to make a sandwich? $50 to put some fajitas on top of some rice and some salsa and some guacamole? And I'm not saying that's easy work. But if that's what it takes to get a bag, we're going to be guacamole'd out. Like I said, this wasn't Kamala's original plan. She stole this from Trump. Listen at what Trump had to say.
To destroy Social Security. I am going to leave Social Security. I'm not raising the years. I'm not raising the age. I will be saving Social Security, and I'm going to work it out that there's no tax on Social Security for seniors. I'm also doing no tax on tips.
Trump sounded like he wasn't playing. Kamala sounded like she was giggling a little bit. I don't know if I could take her word for it. She didn't seem sincere at all. She said it to get a reaction. Trump said it because it was coming from the gut. I mean, that's the way I took it. Maybe y'all took it different. Maybe y'all thought Kamala was sincere and she really trying to raise the minimum wage and not charge people on tips and taxes or whatever. I mean, that'd be amazing if she was sincere. And we don't know what Trump gonna do if he get in office. He might switch up. But if he do, he gonna have hell to pay. Because it'll be people that'll get his old ass out of office if he don't go ahead with that $50 minimum wage. But for my people of color out there, do y'all think y'all really gonna get, do we think we really gonna get that $50? I had to correct myself. Do we think we really gonna get that $50 raise? Will people know how to act with a $50 raise an hour? It'd be a whole lot of part-time going on. People that have 20 part-time jobs, 2 hours a week, get that quick honey and get back to the crib. Make a quick $300, work 6 hours a week. Hey, that's all people really need. A part-time job. A part of a job. Not even part-time, a part of a job. That's what's gonna be happening, man. $50 an hour, that means you ain't gotta work like that. And you can milk the clock. Hang in the bathroom for 30, take a 30-minute lunch, sit in the car. When that check come, and for the people that is busting their ass and killing it, trying to get all of them 50s, when you get that check and you grossed $5,000 for the week and you only bring home $500 and you owe taxes, I don't know how they're going to be doing you any favors. If there's somebody in the comment section that feel otherwise, let me know. I want to read these comments and see what y'all got to say about it. Now, y'all need to see Kamala Harris when she showed up at this rally and how all these people was around her, how all these people was admiring and adoring her. Y'all need to see this.
President of the United States.
Everybody was so happy to see Kamala. She's such a beautiful woman. When she smiles at you, you can feel the warmth. People want to be in her presence. They love the fact that she's going to be the first woman of color president of America. But as far as her being African American or black or having heritage here in America, that's the furthest thing from the truth. She is not an African American or Black American or none of those things. Her family is from all over the place. And I know you're wondering what that got to do with anything, but you got to ask yourself, who's going to benefit? Who's going to be getting this $50 an hour? Will it only be for Indians, Asian people, Latin people? Is she really going to give to the foundational Black American family? Do she have feelings and ties with the foundational Black Americans? Obama was Barry Sanders. They blackened him up so much, they gave him the name Barack Obama. It don't get no blacker than that. That shit roll off your tongue. Any person of color, you feel jitters every time you say Barack Obama. People only know English. You got black people that don't know no African languages. So when they say Barack Obama, that's similar to saying Wakanda forever. They blackened him up to be president. And he from Hawaii. his mama, I don't know, his dad, I don't know. They not American like that. They not like us. Kendrick Lamar need to do the remix for Kamala, Drake, and President Obama. Barry Sanders to Barack Obama. How did that happen? Somebody let me know. They blackening up Kamala. But the same people that went to a rally, they left there disappointed when they heard what she had to say because they knew that she was being phony. They knew that she was stealing for Trump. They knew that she didn't have her own original policies in place. Look at the way people were storming out of there upset, underprivileged, and saddened at what Kamala had to say at this rally. People looking like they went to go see Glorilla and Megan Thee Stallion and got left with Flavor Flav. They was disappointed. Kamala Harris is not sincere like a lot of people want her to be sincere. But for the fact that she's a woman of color, people is willing to accept whatever it is that she dishing out. Regardless, people don't want to do no research, no background. So many people only go by what meets the eye. That's why the beauty supply store is sold out. People only care about the appearance of things. So regardless of if she's going to keep her word or whatever the case is, people still going to vote. But to see how everybody walked out of there disappointed with their heads hanging low, knowing that they've been lied to and bamboozled, a lot of people wouldn't know what to do with $50 an hour. Can you imagine tipping your waitress and she putting that money straight in her pocket? As soon as she do a couple of tables, she gonna be gone. You're gonna be waiting for your food. It's never gonna come. Cause she gonna cash in, hop in the whip, and get in the wind and get ready to go to the club that night. Why would you want to wait on the table when you got plans to spend all of this money that you done made throughout the week? People gonna be calling off. I don't know if people can handle the $50 an hour. It's a lot of immature people out here. As soon as they get that money, they go to the gas station. You think they're gonna go home after they get some gas and they got money in the bank? They're gonna get some gas. Traffic is gonna be a beast. Like, how come nobody at work? Like, cause we got paid today. That's why nobody's at work. You think you're going to be able to get your early morning grocery shopping on? It's going to be people with more money, too much money to work. The line going to be around the block and it's going to be nobody at the register because they got paid. Damn, $50 an hour to work a cash register? They going to have paper cuts from counting their own money. Does this go for kids too? You mean tell me it's going to be kids out there making more money than their parents? And people going to have to beg their kids to borrow some cash because they work at the local Wendy's and your mom is a nurse, but she not making $50 an hour. Do CNAs make minimum wage? I don't think they do, but they should. So if you're not making minimum wage, you're not getting the $50. You stuck at the $14, $15 an hour. What sense do that make, man? Somebody got to help me understand it. Matter of fact, we all gonna learn something. Let's just listen to this lady talk about it because I know she know better than me. Listen at this, y'all.
Ms. Lee, you have the next question. Both of our Democratic opponents are calling for a minimum wage between $20 and $25 an hour. You're calling for a $50 an hour federal minimum wage. That's 7 times the current national minimum wage of $7.25 an hour. Can you explain how that would be economically sustainable for small businesses? You have 60 seconds.
First, let me say I owned and ran a small business for 11 years. I created hundreds of jobs, benefits, retirement benefits, also health care benefits. I know what worker productivity means, and that means that you have to make sure that your employees are taken care of and have a living wage. In the Bay Area, I believe it was the United Way, came out with a report that very recently, $127,000 for a family of 4 is just barely enough to get by. Another survey very recently, $104,000 for a family of 1. Barely enough to get by. Low income because of the affordability crisis. And so just do the math. Just do the math. Of course, we have national minimum wages that we need to raise to a living wage. You're talking about $20, $25, fine. But I have got to be focused on what California needs and what the affordability factor is when we calculate this wage.
Ms. Lee.
Puppets will do and say anything for money. Puppets will get up there and do what they're told, say what they're told for a check. People got to do what they got to do. Unless they're writing their own check, unless they're printing their own money, people going to do what they're told. So when this woman say all these amazing things about raising the minimum wage, and that's just like telling people to get out there and vote. All of you low lives, people in the slums, people going to be crawling out the alleys to go vote. All of those people that strung out in Philly, they going to be at the voting polls itching, trying to get that $50 so they could buy some dope. Everybody going to come out to vote. They going to be crawling from under the sewers. It's going to be like the Thriller video at the voting polls. Everybody and their mama going to go down there for that $50 an hour. High school kids. This might be the biggest voting turnout in American history. $50 an hour minimum wage. Will black people get that $50? Will it be tax-free? Will it be reparations? Should black people get $100 an hour? For the pity, should black people get $200, $300 an hour? For slavery? Kamala need to think about that. Trump need to think about that too. Because while everybody living it up, speaking their own language, I barely speak English, man. I need $500 an hour. I'm crippled and handicapped on the world stage because of what America has done to us. We need it more than anybody. They can go to their home country and chop it up in Spanish or whatever dialect they speak. We can't do that. If we go to Africa, they're going to be asking us, when are you going home? It happened to me before. I don't want to talk about it, but that's Negro here, no there. I need y'all to do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button, and let me know what y'all think about this. Y'all looking forward to that $50 an hour? Will black people know how to act with that $50 an hour? Let's be real, man. Will people still be getting benefits and still getting the $50 an hour? And I'm not saying we the only people that do stuff like that, but only time will tell. Y'all let me know. Got so much love for y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all on the next video.